Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a highlight and contour routine in sort of a more natural way. I contour my face like 3 different ways depending on what I'm doing that day. I'm just going out to work. I just probably throw on some like powder bronzer and call it a day just to give my face some color. If I'm going out at night, I'll probably do it a little more defined, a little more darker just because I want it to actually be seen. I recently hopped on the cream contour train and let's just say it will not be getting off. The thing with cream contour products is, you know, a little bit goes a long way. I like to use it, like I said before, when I'm actually going places, you know, when my face is actually visible. If I just put my mask over top of it, it's just gonna go all over the mask. So I just try to avoid that on an everyday basis. So this video is just going to show how I shape my face and how I contour to make it look a little bit more thinner. So let's get into the video. So I always start off with a concealer. I'm going to be using the E.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Neutral. What I like to do is start from the inner corner of my eye, drag it down to just before my nostrils, just branch out the concealer a little bit. I don't like to drag it too far out when I'm highlighting and contouring my face because I find that it just kind of makes my face appear more wider. And I have a very round face, like it's just kind of like full in this area, so I like to make it appear longer. So I like to start from the inner corner with the applicator and then I just drag it all the way down to just before where my nose ends. And I'll just bring it out a little farther. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. So what I like to do next is just bring it up the sides of my nose a little bit. When you bring the concealer up the sides of your nose, you can already see that it kind of shrinks the size of my nose. You don't want to have a shadow on the sides of your nose just because it'll make it appear wider. The whole point is to shrink the size and make it appear a lot thinner. So next I'll just do a couple straight strokes on my forehead, a little bit at the top of my lip. I'll do one line down my chin and I will do one line on the sides of my eye. I just like to grab my beauty blender and then I'm just going to go and blend those out. So when I'm blending it out, I don't like to drag the concealer because then it's just going to drag the rest of your makeup with it and it'll look pretty patchy and smudged. So I just like to press it into my skin. This is a dry beauty blender, by the way. I forgot to wet it. It's a little bit hard to work with. Sometimes I actually like using a dry beauty blender though because I find that it doesn't like absorb as much product. I find that it just works into your skin a little bit better. The product actually stays on your skin rather than getting stuck in the sponge. So moving on to contour, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Tantour today in the shade Light. Let's wait for it to focus. This is what it looks like inside. Honestly, I have barely touched it. As much as I love cream contouring, I just don't do it every day. I'll just use this is like my everyday like powder bronzer brush, the Morphe E4. I'll just do like a quick bronze. You don't even see my contour, so I don't even bother with that. When you do see my face, what I'm going to be using today is this bad boy right here, the E.l.f. 103 Precision Airbrush foundation brush. I'm not really sure of the whole name, but it's the E.l.f. 103 brush. I've been using this for like the last year now and I find it's absolutely amazing. I just love it because I feel like it does most of the work for you rather than having to work in the product over and over again. So you just grab your brush and you just dip a little bit into the cream bronzer. And I like to start from just above where my ear is and then just drag it down to the middle part of my cheek and I just stop right there. And any product that I have, I'll usually drag it out if necessary. I'll just pat the product right into my contour. Just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna do my forehead, so I'm just gonna do light little pat. I'm gonna bring it down where my eyebrow is a little bit right here and just down to my temple. When you put the contour right where your temples are, it makes your face appear a little bit more narrow. Just gonna do the same on the other side. As you can see, like I'm not putting that much effort into it. Like the brush is pretty much just doing all of the work for me. I just love cream contour. Like it just gives you such a nice like bronzy look. Like I just love that. Especially these days when you're just like feeling so pale and gross. So now my face is looking pretty bronzed up. I'm gonna apply some of the contour right on my jawline because we don't like a double chin. We don't want that over here. You just apply a little bit to the bottom of your jawline. It kind of defines it. I usually leave my nose for last because I feel like it just takes the longest. I just like focus on it the most. So what I like to do with my nose is contour it first and then I go over it with highlight. That way I already create the shadows where I want them to be and the highlight will just kind of clean it up for me. So I'm just going to use this Morphe E22 brush. I use it a lot on my nose because I find like it just kind of feathers on the contour without making it look too precise. I'm just going to kind of work it upwards. It's no big deal if you mess up because you could always just use the concealer again to clean it up. And I'll just feather it up to where my eyebrows are. The whole point of contouring your nose is the same thing, just making it appear a little bit smaller and defined. It's kind of fixing the shape of it. I have this like permanent bump on my nose. When I was a kid, I bumped my nose on this kid's head at recess, but it did something to my nose for sure. So I'll just blend that out a little bit with my beauty blender. So now we're going to highlight. So I will just do a little bit on the tip of my nose. I'll bring some on the bridge of my nose. And I'll just go back again on the sides. You definitely don't have to go through all these steps. This is just what I choose to do. So lastly for my nose, I'm just going to take a little more of that bronzer. I'm just going to brush the tip of my nose just to kind of give it some shape. Okay, so the last important step, which is so important because you want your contour to stay in place, and we have to set our face. So I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish setting powder. This is in the shade 2 Medium. I just use my E.l.f. blush brush, and I'm going to just use it to set my under eye. And everywhere that I highlighted. This really brightens up the under eye area, that's why I love it so much. And it prevents creasing. And I'm just going to set my contour as well, so I'm going to go in with my Hoola bronzer and I'm going to use my Morphe E4 powder brush. So you're welcome to stop here, but I personally like to add a little bit of blush to my face when I highlight and contour. So I'm going to be using the Hourglass Ambient Blush Lighting Blush in the shade Mood Exposure. Feather it over my cheeks. So for today's highlight, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Iced Out Highlighter. I'm so excited to try this. It's just, oh, it's so pretty. I'm just going to let it focus on it because, ooh. I'm just going to use my Real Techniques 402 brush. I'm just going to apply the highlight right above my cheeks. This is so pretty. It's so natural looking too. I will add just a little bit to my nose. Add a little bit to the top of my lips. Like I said before, this part is totally optional. This is just what I like to do, just because I like to be extra. So anywhere where I want the sun to hit and shine, that is where I will apply my highlighter. So that is pretty much it on how I contour and highlight my face. I like to keep it as natural as possible just because I don't like it when it looks like too muddy and cakey. That's just not my vibe. But yeah, so I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Why are my lips burning? This is the ColourPop So Juicy lip gloss and I put it on not knowing that it was a plumping gloss and I'm here like, why are my lips tingling? Now I know. Okay guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. It was pretty quick and to the point. I don't really do much when it comes to highlighting and contouring. It's pretty simple and it's pretty easy, I think, to achieve. So if you guys have any comments, please leave them all down below. If you do like this video, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit that bell right beside the subscribe button. I don't even know what side it's on anymore. I think she over here. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.